The last public meeting between you and President Biden occurred on May 31st, 2022. Does that sound accurate?
I'm going to take your word for it.
Okay. Have you had any private meetings with the president since that time?
No.
Any phone calls with the president?
Nope. I don't believe so.
Is there any reason why you've not met with or spoken to the president?
I meet with, when any president calls you, you come and you meet, but that hasn't happened, so.
So in over 2 years, with inflation still nagging us, with cost out of control, President Biden has not asked to meet with you in over 2 years?
I haven't had a meeting with him. He hasn't sought a meeting, and of course I don't seek meetings, so.
All right, you heard what Chairman Powell said. Now, to the guy who was asking all those questions, Mike Lawler, the Republican New York congressman, were you surprised by that?
Frankly, I was blown away by it. I mean, the fact is that under Joe Biden, we've had record inflation. Costs have skyrocketed, grocery costs, energy costs. As I said to Chairman Powell in my district, Westchester County, the average mortgage cost has gone up $1,000 a month. That's over $12,000 a year under Joe Biden. And the fact that he has not sought to meet with the Fed chairman since May 31st of 2022 is astounding to me.
You know, Congressman, the flip side to that is the Fed is an independent entity, does its own thing without presidential pressure. We quite know well in the past that they do that political pressure. They are political themselves many times. This chairman trying to skew that. He had a rocky relationship with Donald Trump. If he's right on what he just told you, he doesn't appear to have one warm and fuzzy and constantly meeting with the present White House occupant. But is that technically maybe as it should be?
Look, there's no question the Fed is independent, but that doesn't mean that the president of the United States shouldn't be meeting with and discussing obviously monetary policy. And I am frankly flabbergasted by it, but I think it speaks volumes to this White House and the current situation. And frankly, what we saw just 2 weeks ago on that debate stage, I'm not even sure that a meeting would be worth it, because it doesn't seem that the president has the capability to have a discussion with the chair of the Federal Reserve.
But wouldn't many in your party, not you, but start saying, aha, the president and the Fed chief met. He's no doubt begging the Fed chief to ease interest rates to improve his political stance. So you can't win for love or money there, right?
Now, look, again, at the end of the day, the Federal Reserve is going to make decisions with respect to policy, and it should be independent. But as I asked him in my testimony, in his testimony, couldn't it be viewed as political if come September, just 30 to 60 days before an election, the Federal Reserve decides to cut rates? And obviously he protested and said, look, it's independent. We don't make decisions based on political factors. But obviously, under this administration, we have seen the cost of goods, the cost of living, skyrocket in a state like New York, which is already out of control with high taxes, and Democrats in New York spending $239 billion in their state budget, up $60 billion in 4 years, which is totally unsustainable. You see the impact, and like I said, $1,000 a month increase in mortgage costs is unsustainable for working families across New York and certainly across the country.
I will say this, Congressman, whether people agree or disagree, that your questions have a way of resonating. This is when you were questioning Janet Yellen on Joe Biden and whether he's effective in meetings and all that. They do generate news. Thank you very much, Congressman. Very good seeing you.
Thanks for having me, Neil.